Welcome into the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I am your host, Jay Stevens, and here in this weekly podcast, to get the opportunity to talk to the Director of Athletics at IU Kokomo and a coach of a sporting team at the university and maybe a player to get an update on things going on and things that are exciting that are going on in the athletic department and some of the things that are successes going on with this team, the teams as well. Here to my right is the Director of Athletics at IU Kokomo, Mr. Tom Norris. Tom, I hear there's a lot of good things going on. Busy week. Also get to hear about the basketball team as well during this show. So that excites me. I told you before, I like basketball. I'm in Indiana, so getting to hear that during the show makes me excited.
Well, we keep using that word excited, right?
Can't help it, man.
That's our word around our campus. And you're right, though. This is a really good time of year for us. We're getting to that point where we've got a little bit of crossover going with some of our fall sports. Basketball's just started their official practice last week, I think it was. So they're 3 to 4 weeks away from starting games and getting into the competitive part of their season. So just a fun time for us with a lot going on, and looking forward to seeing some of our other teams who haven't started to compete yet compete.
Like I said, we will get to hear later in this show, get to hear from the head men's basketball coach at IU Kokomo and then also a player on the team as well, get a little insight into their preseason preparation for their upcoming season. Preseason preparation for basketball is great, but in the midst right now, you have so many great things going on at IU Kokomo in the fall sports calendar. Can you provide some type of update about what's been going on lately?
Yeah, gosh, we're in full swing. I guess no pun intended. Women's golf is out at the River States Conference preview. We have switched locations from Belterra Resort down in southern Indiana. Our conference has now moved their championship out to West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
So a little bit different of a site out there, and looking forward to see what our women's team does out there. The preview is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's the opportunity for our conference teams to compete on the course where we're going to have our conference championship in the spring. So women were out there yesterday, today, left on Sunday for a practice round, and then the men head out next week, I think, and this will be maybe the third time our men have played that course and have had a ton of success out there playing it. So I know they're excited to be back out there. Tennis is full go in their fall portion of the season, and then obviously your championship sports that are going with cross country, volleyball, soccer. So really just everybody's competing and everybody's in action right now. So it's a really fun time around our campus.
Is that preview to the conference meet, is that normal?
It is, and it's normal in some of those, I call them individual sports, but team sports, right? The cross countries, the golf. So they typically have that preview race or meet that gives teams an opportunity to go see what the course is going to look like or what the cross country course is going to look like. So having that opportunity and maybe everybody in the conference gets the opportunity. So it's not like you're getting a leg up, but at least gives you a lot better idea of what to expect come championship time, and hopefully you learned enough to be at the peak and really tackle the course in both golf and cross country.
I feel it's a great advantage to everybody involved, not just say men or women, just saying one section does and one section does not. No, just in general, that's a great advantage, because if it being in a new area, maybe a little bit more hilly or whatever it might be, you're able to get a leg up and realize here's what works here. Here's what doesn't work here. Here's what I can do maybe in those areas where I'm a little confident, but then also a little uneasy. Get a little preview to that. That's great. That's a great opportunity for everybody involved.
It is. And talking cross country specifically, they just went out to their conference preview last weekend at Midway University, and a lot of reports I got back were, man, what a hard course that was to run. It's a little bit different. It's out in Eastern Kentucky. I think we talked about it last week. The hills and the ups and the downs, it's not what we get to see every day here running in the flatlands of central Indiana. So for them to have the opportunity and to have some success in that preview meet really sets them up in a good spot to go out there here on November 4th and make those adjustments or whatever adjustments they felt was needed on a different terrain, and hopefully come out on top of that meet.
That's something that I think about other sports, maybe team sports that aren't maybe cross country or golf, to where you're generally having something that is normal. Football, for example, you have a lot of people are playing on a turf field, but also there are times you play out in grass. There's a difference in the texture of the field you're playing on. And so maybe you go all the time to practice, for instance. NFL teams may have to practice on grass for 1 week leading up to a game being played on grass.
Sure.
Well, they have a few days there to prepare for that, but that game experience is a whole lot different. It's kind of the same thing here, not the same level football or NFL, but that preview is great. And I know when I was doing things younger, athletic-wise, getting a preview to something is huge. Not just like watching film on it, but say you have a scrimmage and you're scrimmaging a team you're going to play later in the season.
Yep.
That's that type of preview that we're discussing here. And I enjoy that. I didn't know that they did that. And if other sports could do it, that'd be great for them as well.
Yeah, it's good. And obviously those are a little bit unique, right? Like you'll hear from men's basketball later. A basketball court's a basketball court, right? You're playing on the same surface, but they're playing those conference teams throughout the year. So they kind of know what to expect when it comes conference tournament time. But with these sports, you're not seeing those teams on a regular basis per se. So to have the opportunity, one, to run a new track or run a new course or play at a new course, you also get to see where you stack up with those conference teams who you're maybe not seeing on such a regular basis. So it's a win-win for everybody involved, and a really cool opportunity for our student athletes to get a little taste of what the conference championship might look like.
We're going to hear later on from the men's basketball head coach and Julien Hunter, a player there as well. And one thing that has been kind of a theme, excited has been a word that's been a theme since Tom and I have been here on the show, but also a theme is just the sustained success or just success in general, from soccer to even esports now, first season, but some success there as well, volleyball, golf. The success that the sports department, athletic department has at IU Kokomo, I feel like it's unique because it's not just one sport sustaining success. It's a new sport. Hey, how can we be successful early and then often? Or a sport that's been around for a while, how can we sustain what we have done in volleyball? Or men's basketball coach Eric Echelbarger, I think I said that correctly, not been there as long as Miss Heather Hayes, but also coming in halfway through saying, how can we get successful and then how can we sustain that? How, from your standpoint, with the men's basketball team, just under Echelbarger's leadership, how would that word sustain success or that phrase sustain success describe the basketball team since he's been overseeing it?
Yeah, I think there's no question about it, right? But his metric of success might be a little bit different than what mine looks like. I mean, I have, as I've told you, want to win games just as much as everybody else does, and they've done a really good job at that. But he's done a fantastic job, and I think what you'll find or what you'll see with our department is these coaches having success, right? And as competitive as we are as people in athletics, maybe he sees Heather going out and having success and says, hey, like, let's get to there. And I think it just breeds success when you see it, right? So I think you can attest a little bit to the soccers and the volleyballs and the basketballs and the golfs and just the success that we've had. I think success breeds success, right? And we all want to see each other succeed, and he's done nothing short of that. I mean, they've been to 3 Sweet 16s and 3 out of the last 4 years, I think, if my memory serves me correct. So, to see the success on not just a conference level, a national level, is extremely impressive. And, he always has a good group of guys that play extremely fast, they play extremely hard, and they play extremely well together. And I think that's what you'll see. I know you kind of mentioned getting out to a game. It's an exciting event. It's a lot of up and down. You'll see Julien getting up on the rim, quite often. Just a really fun thing to be a part of, really fun thing to see. And, the success starts at the top with Eric. That's
amazing. And that's just one of those highlights from my standpoint so far, hearing about it. What maybe has been the biggest highlight from you over the past couple seasons? Let's go post-COVID, because that COVID year was just wacky for everybody during that year. But post-COVID, what's been maybe the biggest highlight from your standpoint from the men's basketball program?
I think just the success in general. I know that's a really broad answer, but just seeing, a group of guys come together and Eric have such a close-knit group of guys and have the success that they've had. And, gosh, there's been multiple games that I could talk about that have been exciting, but I think just the entire body of work, right, is what's been impressive and what's been so fun to watch. And to sit back and see the athleticism in which his guys operate with is really, really impressive. And again, a really, really fun thing to be a part of. And I think if you get to see it, you'll be pretty impressed being a basketball guy, with the product that he puts out on the floor and that his players play with.
Being the basketball guy, it's one thing. Like my dad played high school basketball up in Fort Wayne. I did not play high school basketball. Some say it's ingrained in me because I'm a Hoosier, which that might be true. But I just enjoy sports at any level, just people that love doing what they do and are successful while doing it, while doing things that they love. And so I do it and look forward to down the road before basketball, because that's about a month out from starting, at least here in Kokomo for the first home game, volleyball and soccer and the sports that are going on now. What are some events, before we wrap up this portion with you, that people can get out to you and say, hey, this event here, oh, I like volleyball, this event here, or I like that. What events are happening in the next few weeks, maybe people could say, yeah, I need to go out there and see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't looked out too far in the next couple of weeks, but, this Thursday we've got women's soccer at home at 7 o'clock at Kokomo Municipal, and then what should be a competitive volleyball match on Saturday at the Student Activities and Events Center with Point Park coming in out of Pittsburgh. They won the league last year and kind of, I don't want to say broke our streak because we ended up winning the conference tournament, but they gave us a pretty good run last year, so I know our gals will be looking for a little bit revenge, although we got the last blow in the conference tournament, but should be a really fun event. Again, soccer on Thursday is always fun to watch, and encourage anybody who hasn't been out to any of our events to come out, and we were talking about this before we went on air, but just the product that our coaches and our players are putting out on the floor and on the field and on the track and the course, whatever it may be, is fun, it's competitive, it's high level. And just to see it and be a part of it is a really cool experience.
Tom, do you have any last comments before we move on to get to hear from Eric Echelbarger and Julien Hunter of the men's basketball team?
Yeah, last thing I've got, and this has kind of been public knowledge for some time now, but this Friday will be my last day at IU Kokomo, so I just want to say thank you to you all, to Drew Larison and the whole Kokomo Post Sports team. This partnership has been amazing. We've got a ton of good feedback from our coaches, from our players, from the community, and just a really good platform for us to talk about the really great work that our coaches and student athletes are doing on the IUK campus and in that community. So for that, I appreciate you all, and really enjoyed that partnership. And I know we just had a short time together, but appreciate your work and look forward to seeing this continue in the future and being able to see it from the spectator side.
Tom, it's been my pleasure to be with you over the past few weeks, month and a half, 2 months maybe, of doing the show with you. Really enjoyed getting to talk to you and get to know you, get to learn about the IUK athletic department. I'm sure producer Molly would say something as well, similar to just being not enjoyable to work with.
I appreciate that.
It's just one of those things that people say, like, I know I want people to enjoy working with me, and I can say that about someone else. I will make that statement about them. Guys, coming up next, we'll get to hear from Eric Echelbarger, the head men's basketball coach at IUK, and Julien Hunter, a player on the team. Get their preseason outlook and preview for the season, and get to discuss an event they recently did to work on team bonding. As the Cougar Cast rolls on, I'd like to welcome into the show the head men's basketball coach at IUK, Mr. Eric Echelbarger, and one of the players on the basketball team as well, Mr. Julien Hunter. Coach, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Very good, very good. Thanks for having us out. Appreciate it.
No problem. And Julien, same thing. How you doing?
Doing good. Just glad to be here.
Coach, 20-plus wins a year ago, made it to the national tournament. Your preparation for the season is what we're in the midst of right now. What are some of your thoughts, preseason thoughts about the IUK men's basketball team heading into another season?
We're in the process right now. So, you go through the years and the seasons, and you kind of, I've been through it a few times myself, so know where we're at right now. And we're in a time right now where we're doing a lot of conditioning, trying to get the guys physically prepared, mentally prepared. We did start our practice September the 18th. That was our first official practice. So we're in that now every day, just kind of putting the pieces together. We have some new players. Very excited about them, and they're learning our system. So right now we're in a learning phase on the court where they're picking up our system and how we like to play. And but we're about 31 days away from our first game, October 27th. So it's going to be here before we know it.
This period of time, the things you're learning in the first official practice, what are some focuses of yours this time of year heading into another season?
Well, it starts off when we get there in late August, just the way we operate, our day-to-day operation of our program, and that's what the new guys need to pick up on initially. Right now, it's a lot of teaching on the court, so it's teaching our style of play, what we expect from our players, and things like that. So it's a big picture, what we do in our program early on the first month or so, and now we're kind of moving into basketball-focused things. So, and again, we're getting close, so we're picking up steam.
Julien, you're 3. You're a junior. We talked earlier. You're from Southern Indiana at New Albany High School. Why did you decide to play basketball at IU Kokomo?
I mean, I decided to come here because they just gave me the opportunity to come here at first. I mean, if you look at my high school career, I missed a lot of time due to injuries. Like my junior year, I broke my fibula.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest bone in your body, in your leg. So I ended up breaking that my junior year. And then my senior year, I also had a lot of stress fractures in my feet. So when Coach E came to me, I was at a time where I didn't even know if I wanted to play basketball in college. But they gave me the opportunity, so I was like, man, might as well.
Interesting, because I recently heard from someone else on the cross-country team who said the coach gave them an opportunity. It was literally an email. He discussed it on the show. Said he sent an email to the coach. He said the coach didn't have to reply to my email, but he did anyway, and the rest is history. He's going to be, I think he's a 5th-year cross-country runner and a part of the track team. It's great to hear stories about just someone getting an opportunity, especially with the injuries and not knowing if you wanted to play after high school. It's great that opportunity was right in front of you and was given to you. Was that opportunity provided to you so far in your short period at IUK on the basketball team?
It just provided me the opportunity to be a better person, a better leader, a better man just overall, because, I mean, I've learned a lot ever since I've been here, and I feel like I've matured a lot ever since I've been here too, especially looking at the things that I used to do last year compared to this year. I feel like I've matured and I've grown up a lot, so it definitely have opened my eyes and opened a lot of doors that I feel like I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have came here.
Coach, anytime I think about preseason basketball, preseason training leading up to anything, I played football, middle school and high school. My brother played after that. And everyone knows football conditioning can be intense. I also heard buddies that played high school basketball. They're like, man, we don't really care about conditioning or running or lifting. Like, we just play basketball. What do we do for basketball? We just go hoop. What is the conditioning portion of the preseason process like for IUK?
So we're in the weight room. We have a weight program, so our guys are consistently down there. We have an awesome fitness center here. The Cole Fitness Center on the campus of IUK is probably the best kept secret in Kokomo. It's a great facility. So we're down there all the time. The guys are weight training. We do our off-court conditioning. So things like that would be, we'll go to Jackson Morrow Park. We'll have a sand workout and the sand volleyball courts there. We'll go to the soccer fields and do a running workout there. But it used to be, when I first got here, we were conditioning this time of year like 5 days a week. We were pushing really hard and pushing hard. Yeah. And so now this year we're a little more, we've spaced it out a little bit more. We'll condition for longer, but it'll be a little more spaced out per week. So we're probably running about 3 exclusive conditioning segments per week right now, and kind of just spacing that out. So I think it's healthy. It allows our guys a little bit more recovery time. So they're in that process right now. And the goal is, I was talking to one of our players today, asking him how he felt his conditioning levels were. And I told him the goal is not to be in the best shape today. I'm not worried about that. I'm very worried about being in the best shape come October 27th when it's time to play. So again, we're still in the build-up phase of the conditioning part of our program right now.
Do you ever get after it with them this time of year?
I do. Yeah, I ran the mile, I think, with these guys. I don't mind it. I am 44 now, and I do unfortunately have some ailments that stop me from getting out there. But whenever I can, whenever I'm healthy, you can ask Jew, I get out there when I can. Yeah. So, yep.
What's it like from your standpoint? The coach is still discussing it, but you're a player. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to your freshman year, coming off of some injuries, junior, senior year, also not really knowing if you're going to play in college. What was that first initial week or 2 weeks of conditioning like when you first got here?
I mean, it's always hard to adjust to, especially a new system and the way that this university does things compared to high school. Because, I mean, if you look at it, high school and college are 2 totally different levels. But it took me a while to adjust. But, I mean, after I adjusted, I just took it for what it was and just put on my hard hat and like, man, I got to, if I really want to get to where I want to get to, I have to do it. So the only thing it is having the right mindset.
What was that? What were some of the adjustments? Because I always hear people saying high school to college is a big adjustment, but we normally hear it from New Albany, good basketball team, going to maybe say Indiana. One of your former teammates went to IU to play basketball. So like high school power 4A to big time D1, that's a huge jump in just like the mindset. It's also a huge jump going from high school to college at IUK. What were some of the biggest adjustments you had to make when you got here from the high school level to college?
Well, for one of the biggest adjustments is when you're in high school, you normally have practice after school, you know. But this is one of the things where I feel like our guys they might have been struggling with a little bit right now. It's not, you have to be ready to go in the morning. I'm not talking about 9 or 10 in the morning. I'm talking about 7:30, 8. And as soon as you're in the gym, it's time to put on your hard hat and get ready to go. So that was one huge adjustment. And just going up against guys who are as athletic, maybe bigger, maybe stronger than you, and just taking it for what it is and just keeping in your mindset that even though they might be this, they might be that, I'm better than them. So that's just the mindset you have to have.
Coach, I talked about this with Tom earlier from his standpoint being more sometimes an overseer, not in the day-to-day operation of a basketball or a soccer team, but you're there with these young men every single day, from recruiting them to helping them freshman, sophomore, junior year. What have you seen in the growth in Julien's game, basketball on the court, from the time he got here until right now heading into another season?
Yeah, absolutely. And just take it even farther back than that, Julien's dad was a fantastic player back in the early 90s for his high school, New Albany High School. So when I saw we had an opportunity to recruit Julien, it was a no-brainer for me. I recognized the name immediately. And he played with some great players in high school, and for a great coach in Jim Shannon there at New Albany. So no-brainer. You want to get guys from great programs, and to be able to get a guy from Southern Indiana at IUK was really a big thing, to be able to get Juju to come up here. And yeah, he's just worked all the time. He's a worker. He's athletic. He hit the biggest shot in program history in 2022 to beat the #1 team in the country on the road. He hit a game winner. So that, his confidence and his ability on the court has just grown each and every year he's been here. And fantastic ambassador for our program, very visible on campus, very well respected by his teammates. He's going to be one of our tri-captains this year on our team, and excited to have him.
Captain, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you to be a captain on the team?
I mean, it means a lot. Just to see how much I've grown over the years, I kind of feel like I was a leader and I was sort of kind of a captain, but I just didn't have the title to go with it. Because, I always felt like my teammates respected what I had to say. But just to get that title, I really have to step into it now. Like, there's times last year where I would have a bad day and I want to practice or whatever, and I'll let that just control my whole practice. But I can't do that being a leader this year. If I have a bad morning, I have to come in, do what I need to do and get out there and perform. So, because I know my younger guys are looking at me. So, it means a lot for me to be a leader this year.
What goals do you have for yourself this season?
I don't really have any goals for myself, really. I just want to have just go as far as we can go.
Yeah. Conference
championship, definitely. National tournament, definitely. Just make a little bit more noise than we did last year.
So it sounds like the team accomplishments mean more than the individual?
Definitely. Okay. Definitely.
I like that, because a lot of guys do say like the team goals are more important to them than individual, because overall team success, it hits different. Coach, same thing for you. Goals for the season. What goals do you have for yourself as a head men's basketball coach at IUK this season?
Yeah, I've been, you think about that as we get closer and closer to the season, and I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I had a free few minutes, and I was just going through my own mind, and I just always like to pull it in myself. So I don't like to get ahead. I don't like to get ahead of myself. And I was thinking today, when I was thinking about that, I was like, it's one day at a time. It's be sure you make the most of today. And then when we get to our game schedules coming October 27th, it's one game at a time. And that's what I like to talk to my team about, taking it one game at a time. Don't look too far out. Obviously, the big picture, the big picture goals, like Juice said, we want to win the conference. We want to perform well like we have in the past at the national tournament. But don't get ahead of yourself. It's one day at a time. If you get too far ahead, you can get tripped up. So we really focusing on the next game, and that's been our mentality since I've been here.
Coach, do you have any last comments for anyone watching about the basketball team this year heading into another season?
Yeah, just really excited. We've got a great group of guys that are really working hard, getting together, trying to get our team chemistry together. And I think it's going to be a really fun group to watch on the court this year. Got a great schedule. Home opener is November 20th. So we got a little ways before we get to that home opener, but should be competitive, and we're looking forward to it.
And that still is on campus, correct?
It is on campus. Yeah. So, yes.
Last thing for you as well. Do you have any last comments for anyone watching the show about your thoughts or players' thoughts heading into the season?
We just need everybody to just come out and support, because I know everybody's basically excited for the basketball season. Because that's the only thing I hear about walking around campus, how excited everybody is for basketball season to finally come. So just come out and support, and we'll put on a show for y'all.
Guys, you hear it.
Well, one more quick thing here. Just want to thank Tom Norris. He's done a tremendous job in a short amount of time here as our athletic director. He's accomplished a lot of things and really been tremendous for our department. And wish him all the best of luck at Our Lady of the Lake in San Antonio, Texas. Know his career will take him far. He's going to do great things.
Love hearing that. You heard it from Tom earlier, myself, Juju's here. I don't really call people nicknames on the show, but Coach said it over and over, so came out of my
mouth. Juju, trust me, you can call me Juju. Everybody calls me Juju.
God, when I come to a game, that's what's coming out of my mouth. Guys, this has been the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. We'll see you next week.